Hi, everyone. Welcome to episode 163 of the All Dolphins podcast. Omar without the Expos hat today. Shame on you, Omar. Was a one-shot deal, I guess. All good. Today is Friday, December 15th, 2023, where we'll be discussing the final injury report ahead of the Week 15 matchup against the New York Jets. First, our
A
obligatory
critical Week 15 matchup against the New York Jets, where a loss would send your season into a downward spiral, dismay, panic, hysteria.
all of the above. Yes. Not only that, it would be very bad. Um, where was I? Lost my train of thought here. Our shout out to our player with the jersey number corresponding to the episode. Since the offensive line is going to be a pretty dominant topic today, and because he's a really, really good guy, I'm going to give a shout out to Michael Dieter, where number 63 played for the Dolphins for 4 years.
I think you did 63. I think you did him the first
I
time.
did not. I did Mark Dixon. Because
Okay,
Mark
all
Dixon was
right.
one of my all-time
So
favorites.
basically, if you wear 63, you got to be a really, really nice guy.
Pretty much, yeah. Michael
Mhm.
Dieter, by the way, currently starting at center for the Houston Texans, who are in the thick of the playoff race in the AFC, although they will be without quarterback CJ Stroud.
And here we were, Dolphin fans, leaving Michael Dieter for dead, thinking that he was spare parts and not much use.
That's you know what I hadn't thought about that, but I think some Dolphin fans actually wouldn't mind Michael Dieter at this moment because had he been on the roster the whole year, I think he might be a better option than Jonathan Harrison, if for no reason than the fact that Jonathan Harrison has just shown up this week.
Here's my thing, and I don't know how Jonathan Harrison is going to play because God knows he hasn't played in an NFL game since 2019. That's a long, long while. But one thing that I can tell you is that the man has worked on his body.
Oh yeah.
He is extremely fit. He claims he was measured at 14% body fat, but he says that the measuring is a lie because he knows he's 11% body fat. Sculpted guy, looks like a defensive end. Don't see much fat on his body. I have no idea if he can snap the ball, because snapping is an art, and you could basically play in the NFL for 10 years if you can snap the ball. I have no idea, based on what he looks like, why he's not in the NFL. Let's hope he can actually block. But the one thing I do like about him is he's seemingly athletic. Hopefully he's not fragile, and hopefully he can set and pass protect, which we won't know, but we more than likely will find out on Sunday.
Yeah, I got my first look at him today, and I was like, "Holy smokes, that guy's cut."
See,
I mean,
it's better than what I said. I said rocked up, and Twitter went all crazy because apparently rocked up means an erection. I have no idea. Yeah, like I don't know these things. I'm not young and hip anymore.
That's funny. That part I can't vouch for that part. Maybe he is rocked up. I don't know.
Yeah,
But that dude is cut. That's funny.
man, is that guy cut?
Yeah. But
He, yeah.
and he's a guy with starting experience, but he's also been on practice squads for the past 3 seasons, or actually 4. So, as I always say in these circumstances, there's a reason for that. So I don't know.
Hey, Dolphins cut Matt Scora when it was clear as day he couldn't play, and then the guy ended up starting a season at guard for the New York Giants. Sometimes you can't figure these things out.
No, correct. And we mentioned those two guys because we're going to get through this long list of injuries on the final injury report. In fact, I just posted the story on alldolphins.com. It's actually a season high in terms of players with a game status designation. They have 11.
Only Poupard will know these things. Go ahead.
You know why? Because I printed out every week's injury report because I'm kind of stupid like that.
A sick man, a sick and twisted individual. Yes.
Yes. All of the above. So the good news is, as Mike McDaniel indicated before practice, only Robert Hunt and Deshaun Elliott have been ruled out. That means the other 11 are questionable, including Tyreek Hill, who's the only one of the bunch who did not practice Friday. Everybody else was limited. And I think on the show today, you and I, Omar, should go player by player who's questionable and
Whether they play or don't play.
whether they play active or not active, and then we should keep score and come back on.
Let's do it.
Okay.
New game, active, not active.
There you go. So here we go. Here's the list of, and then we'll get into it a little bit more. Okay, we'll start. We'll leave the best one for last.
Let hold on before you do that.
Okay.
Chris Perkins has always been basically telling me, "Hey man, you got to see that bruise on Robert Hunt's left hamstring."
Yeah.
And I'm like, I've seen bruises. That thing is ugly. That thing is huge. It's massive. And Dolphin fans are like, "Oh, he can play through it." Like, have you seen that thing? It looks like he had a car accident. It's massive. And he said the lump has gone down, but I'm like, whoa, that thing is ugly.
I mean, was it a contusion? What is it?
I don't know, but I've never seen anything like that. It's black and blue and it's big. It's literally like this. I can't even tell you how big it is. It's bigger than my phone. Like it's like the size 2 of my phones. It's massive.
Yeah, anyway. This is why for the past 2 weeks, Mike McDaniel's he's week to week.
Yeah.
Unlike everybody else, where most of them have been day to day. So okay, we'll start. Andrew Van Ginkel dealing with an oblique injury.
And Vink is playing.
Okay.
But I wouldn't be surprised to see Jason Pierre-Paul be more active. I wouldn't be surprised to see Melvin Ingram's not going to be active.
Okay, so you're a yes?
Yes.
I'm going to take the cheap way out because I wasn't quite sure on this one. I'm going to go yes as well. I'm going to go second. Austin, this one I'll go first. We'll rotate who goes first. Austin Jackson, oblique injury. He's playing. I don't know exactly when he got hurt in the game against Tennessee, but there were a couple of times when he looked like he was uncomfortable a little bit, but he finished the game.
Fourth quarter, probably the final stretch of the game, but he's fine. He's going to play. Okay. He had some stuff on his back today, so I'm sure he's going to get worked out, massage, cupping, acupuncture. He'll be all right.
Okay,
but it does fall into the Jalen Phillips category where it becomes oblique back, and you don't really know what it is. So this is something that could be troubling if it gets worse, which is what happened with Jalen Phillips.
Correct, and this is the same issue with Genk. Okay, next on our list, and you go first this time, cornerback Xavier Howard with a hip injury.
He's playing. Xavier is, come on.
I know, that's an easy one too.
Yeah.
These are too easy, actually. I'll go first this one. Oh, I got the first really tough one here. Safety Javon Holland with his knees issue. Remember, hold on, I go first, unless you want to go. I go first.
Go for it.
On his weekly appearance on his WQAM show this week, he revealed he had 2 sprained MCLs.
And got mad at us for knowing that today, by the way.
For Javon Holland spitting it out on his radio show.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
It's a Javon Dolphin issue, not a media issue. Typically, the recovery period for sprained MCL is around 3-4 weeks. We're talking that happened 3 games ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go. I think it's close, but I'm gonna go no.
I'm also gonna go no. And we talked to him today in the locker room, and while he's talking the good talk, it just didn't seem like. Do they need him? Absolutely, because right now you've got Brandon Jones and Elijah Campbell back there. They're going to be the starting safeties. There has to be some concern about the level of play that you're going to get in the back end. And who's the backup? Would it be Nick Needham?
And Bethel's a cornerback. I'm trying to think of the other.
Yeah, I think it's Nick Needham. I think we covered that with Vic Fangio. It's Nick Needham would be the backup, which is, whoo. So they definitely need. I think Javon maybe dresses, but does not start. But
the game is active or not active. So what's your call?
I'm going inactive.
Okay. So far, we're in agreement on every one of them. Okay, so this one, you go first. Liam Eichenberg, calf injury.
I'm going active, but does not start. probably a backup.
Active but does not start.
Yes.
I'm surprised you mentioned that.
I think they're so down on bodies. He did not practice. He practiced, but did not practice today. He says he's getting better progressively. He said the trainer will decide tomorrow if he can get cleared. He's getting named the trainer. I can't remember his name now. But
Dave
and
Paloka.
huh?
Dave.
No,
No, not
was
it.
it Dave? Was it Dave? Okay, maybe it was Dave. I don't remember the name. No, I don't think he's going to be active. And here's my reasoning why.
You went from okay. You went
No,
from
no, no. I think he's going to be active because you need the bodies, and there are too many practice squad guys to elevate. If you're not going to elevate everybody. I think
Okay.
scorer definitely has to be elevated.
Okay, and for me, I have him inactive because I'm not buying the notion he's not a high end enough level player. No disrespect to be active just in case of it, and the fact that they signed two veterans like this, and they have Lester Cotton as a break glass in case of emergency option at center. Yeah, I have a hard time seeing active. You're talking about a guy who was in a walking boot. You know,
Today he claimed the walking boot was Jalen Phillips' walking boot. So
it may have been it's still a walking boot. Okay.
no. He said the one that's at his locker is Jalen Phillips' walking boot, which I'm not sure I believe, but hey, more props to him. Why would Jalen Phillips be out of his walking boot? I'm just saying.
Yeah. Well, the whole thing is strange. Wait a second, because I wasn't. I did not go into the locker room yesterday. I thought you guys saw him in.
No, Perks saw him Sunday in the walking boot.
Okay.
Sunday after the game, I just saw the walking boot parked outside his locker.
Okay.
But we'll know more. We'll know more soon. I mean, he wasn't allowed to practice today. He was there, but he wasn't allowed to practice with the team for the portion that the media was able to see.
He was listed as limited on the injury report.
Mm-hmm. So. For the lone practice of the week that they have.
Correct.
And for Dolphin fans who don't know, this isn't uncommon when you play a Sunday night game. You do a series of walkthroughs, one practice, maybe two light practices. It's a physical toll to go from Monday to Sunday playing a game.
Short week. We always hear the short week thing. Okay, I'm first on the next one, and that's running back Chris Brooks with a knee injury. I'm saying he's not active, which means he's going to stay on IR. And then by early next week, I think it's Tuesday, the Dolphins have to make the call on whether he stays on IR for the rest of the season or whether they move him to the 53. I should introduce a caveat in that. I should introduce a caveat because Chris Brooks' situation might be related to Devon Achan's situation.
Ding, ding, ding.
And Achan's not playing. So you know what? I'm going to reverse course, and Chris Brooks is going to be activated.
I would love for you to tell me who's going to get cut this time.
You know exactly who I'm going to say.
and I'm telling you, that guy needs to start on Sunday.
And it may be, again, it's one of the two guys who have been inactive, one of the two veterans who don't play special teams, who have been inactive for the last several weeks. And once we get to Tyreek Hill and we discuss him, perhaps his status has some kind of influence on who they cut here. And it could be that if there's doubt about Tyreek, then it's Eli Apple who ends up being cut. So that's my deal, but I think Brooks is going to be activated.
Devon Achan.
Well, hold on. You have to give me Brooks first.
Hold on. I'm setting it up. Devon Achan did very limited work with a toe injury. His toes and backs do not go together. I think that it would be wise if they activated him, but I think it's probably easier to elevate the practice squad running back as opposed to putting Chris Brooks on the 53-man roster. So I think that's the direction that I'm going to go in. So I'm not going to activate Chris Brooks.
Okay. And you make an excellent case.
Yes. I mean, people have to understand these are the decisions that Mike McDaniel and his staff will have to sit and discuss for hours, at least 90 minutes, trying to figure out what's their 43-man, 47-man roster, who are their elevations, decisions, how does everything impact special teams. And Devon, tailbacks with toe injuries, toes do not get better without you getting off them. They don't. So that might be a situation where he might need to be shut down.
If I'm not mistaken, though, was it in this game that said practice squad running back to be elevated, Darrington Evans? Wasn't it again in the first Jets game that he fumbled, lost a fumble?
Oh, yeah.
Did that play a part in that as well?
Mike McDaniel seems like a guy who gives a guy an opportunity at redemption.
Okay.
So,
all right. So you're on the books for no. I'm a yes on Chris Brooks. Next one, you go first. And this, you wrote a story about it on alldolphins.com. You better be consistent, my man. Teron Armstead with the knee and ankle.
I'm gonna go no. No, I'm joking. Teron's definitely playing. This line needs him. He knows this line needs him, even though he's not fully healthy. It's better than the alternatives. You also got Austin Jackson out there battling an injury. If that worsens up, Kendall Lamb will have to take over at right tackle. Keon Smith is needed at guard. Austin needs to be on that line. That line belongs to him. He's taking ownership of it. He's going to be on that line. So he's definitely playing.
Okay. You said Austin, we meant Teron, but
I mean Teron, yeah.
Yeah, and we have a story up on alldolphins.com that was written by you.
Thank you.
Indicating just that. So and I would never doubt anything you write. So absolutely he's
I get wrong all the time.
Okay.
I just,
Just trying to be supportive. Okay, anyway. we move on to running back Devon Achane, who we've discussed a little bit with his toe injury. Here's the other factor I would add to what you said. Mm-hmm. Not only toes don't get better unless you rest them and they fully heal. Based on an estimation, he would not have practiced Wednesday or Thursday, which tells you it's not like a minor toe thing, that can easily overcome. And he was limited on Friday. I have a hard time seeing him being active, though. He's a no for me.
I'm actually leaning towards him being active from this standpoint, even though we didn't see him practice today. Maybe because it's only one practice. You have your Devon Achane package, and if Tyreek doesn't play, you definitely need that Devon Achane package. I think he gives it a go with the foot injury, probably on a limited basis. But even just if he's a decoy, you need him out there.
Except he's a speed back minus with a toe injury. It kind of takes away from his best asset. So
yeah, but if he can create the fear factor as a decoy.
I'm not sure if guys see him limping that there's going to be much of a fear factor. And you're dealing with a rookie. The fact that he's a rookie doesn't matter, but like a semi-undersized running back who's now had 3 body parts injured in his first.
Damn, you got to call him out like that.
It's a fact. I'm spitting facts.
But he, you know what? He didn't suffer an injury in college. So, I mean, we can't sit here and say that this is just the norm. It could be an aberration, 3 of them. I don't know. I think that he's a young man with a lot of talent. Yes, he's small and he's I mean, is foot really size related? Toes? Like
no, but it's then before that it was
the rib I could put to size. The knee I could put to size. A toe, come on, man. Somebody probably just stepped on his foot.
Okay, but either that or we hope it's not turf toe because that would not be good.
Unless he got a broken toe, I'm pretty sure it's turf toe, but that's what Toradol's for.
Okay. The last one we have come to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, we're down to the last one, the big one. Tyreek Hill, ankle injury. Mike McDaniel, as he indicated, would be the case. Told us he would not practice. Said it's going to come down to whether Tyreek feels he can be Tyreek, and whether the doctors agree that there would be no risk of undue risk of aggravation, and then he would go ahead and play. Your thoughts on this?
Let me ask you a question. Is the cheetah at 70% better than 70% of NFL starting receivers?
Depends on the speed. If he loses that speed element that makes him stand out, then I don't think it's as clear cut as you think it is.
I mean,
What makes Tyreek special, with all due respect to him, isn't necessarily route running or hands. It's the speed and the quickness.
okay. I still play a 70% Tyreek Hill, even if I'm having him in a limited role as a decoy. He's still playing. And so I'm definitely thinking, one, Cheetah don't get hurt. And two, Tyreek knows how important this game is. Oh, did we have an episode of It Needed to Be Said? I got to check
I
to see
believe
if there
there
was an
was.
episode.
I believe there was.
Yeah, I got to check to see the latest episode of It Need to Be Said. Because that's an exclusive since Cheetah hasn't talked to us all week. I have no doubt in my mind that he's going to play.
No doubt. Okay.
Yes, but I will
Okay.
say that these young receivers, these not young because they're not really all young. These supporting cast receivers, they got to step up. They gotta they got to play bigger. They got to contribute and find their lane. Whether it's Braxton Barris running option routes, whether it's River Craycraft blocking, whether it's Chosen stretching the field, whether it's Chase Claypool working the Chase Claypool package. Listen, I know this offense has been heavy Cheetah. It's time for other guys to raise their hand and show that they can be accountable to their team and deliver production in place. I mean, Tua had a respectable winning season. Tua delivered respectable winning seasons with very little supporting cast around him. His first 2 seasons in the NFL, he should be able to make it work against the Jets on Sunday. Make it work, to quote Tim Gunn.
Whoa, Tim Gunn reference. Holy moly.
Yeah, I used to watch
Project Runway.
Project Runway. Used to watch it.
Obviously, I used to watch it too if I know the reference.
Yeah, former married life. Used to watch it with my ex-wife. I was a Project Runway fan. Make it work.
Yeah. Same here. The wife and I used to watch that, and the cooking show Top Chef. All of those.
I used to watch home remodeling shows until I actually remodeled the home. Then I was like, screw that. I like exactly what they say. The minute you open up one of these old homes, like 3 other problems go wrong. Yeah, it was way more expensive than I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Buy your home redone already.
Yep. Not quite as simple as they make it seem. There's a I'm not quite sure it's as clear cut as you seem to think, my friend. Because again, it's high ankle sprain. I'm never a fan of the idea of like the guy's not practicing, and I know it wasn't like 3 practices he didn't practice, but it was 1. I get it.
It's Tyreek.
I understand it's Tyreek and Cheetah don't get hurt and all that. What I saw on Monday night, first of all, I'm still mind boggled, baffled, bamboozled, whatever word you want to use, that he was able to come back into that game. And I attribute that to adrenaline kicking in.
Or Toradol.
And I know you're going to go with a Toradol. But to me, it still screamed of a high ankle sprain. And to me, the idea of a guy could come back from a high ankle sprain 6 days after the fact, not to mention the aggravation risk. And I'm not a doctor, and by all means, whoever's an MD, chime in the comments. But my experience with sprained ankles is, again, the stability issue. If you got a sprained ankle, it's pretty easy to re-sprain it the second you take a bad step. And if they lose Tyreek for the final 3 games because he comes back too early trying to play hero ball, to me, that's a lot more difficult to stomach for the Dolphins than if they just have to beat the Jets without him, where regardless, I think this is a game that they win on defense, not on the offense. Because the success that they had in 2020 and 2021, a lot of it was because their defense was winning games. And I
Let
think
me ask you this question.
Go ahead.
Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And this is a tough position that you're putting yourself in, because I know we say, oh, they should be able to take care of these games, except the Jets are probably trying to play spoiler. And what happens if they lose to the Jets? It's all out panic. It's hysteria.
What happens if you play Tyreek, you beat the Jets, but you lose them for the final 3 games? Isn't that worse than and again, it's not a case of and I know I've said all along, to me, that Tyreek's the MVP of the team. It's not like they can't win without him. It's a lot more difficult, absolutely. But I think in this case, to me, I'm just looking at the fact again, the vision of the injury he sustained, to me, screams there's no way in hell that guy's playing 6 days after the fact.
And Tyreek is going to make you a believer.
That Cheetah don't get hurt?
Cheetah don't get hurt.
Well, no, Cheetah don't get hurt enough to miss games. But he has missed a game. 2020 is the last time he missed a game, when he was with the Chiefs. And I can assure you, if he plays, I'm going to put the over-under at times when he gets up slowly or limps, probably 8. And that's probably very conservative. Because he's going to be a hurting puppy if he plays. So, yeah, I don't know. So you have a yes, I have a no.
That might be the tiebreaker right there.
That might be. And that takes care of the injury report for the Jets. Since we like to be thorough here on the All Dolphins podcast, this was one game where the injury report massively, and I mean massively, favors the other team, because they only ruled out 2 players, one of whom was Aaron Rodgers, who we knew wasn't playing. The other one was wide receiver Jason Brownlee with an ankle injury, and I haven't looked at their depth chart lately. If he's probably 5 or 6 or something. They have listed as doubtful Carter Warren, offensive lineman, with a hip injury. They have 5 guys listed as questionable, but 3 of those 5 were full participants in practice. And one of those is Max Mitchell, who started right tackle for the Jets in the Black Friday game, who the Dolphins abused the entire game. Although I gained a lot of respect for Max Mitchell, because if we saw in Hard Knocks, if you remember when Jalen Phillips got hurt, Mitchell's the guy who was across from him and immediately looked down like, oh, dude, you all right? I mean, as we know, he wasn't all right, but it was a classy move nonetheless to do that while the play was still going on. And if Max Mitchell can't play for the Jets against the Dolphins on Sunday, it's going to be old friend Billy Turner at right tackle. I like Billy Turner. I've always liked
Billy. Him too.
Yeah. So
I still wear do-rags that he gave me.
See, there you go.
Billy
So
Turner.
that takes care of the injury report. I don't know that there's anything else overly significant from what Mike McDaniel had to say. I'm trying to rack my brains here.
He rambled.
No, I mean, as expected, he talked about how he didn't see any hangover effect from his players during the week of practice after the Monday night loss.
I'm sorry. It's Friday. We're not talking about a Monday or Sunday loss on Friday. Like,
I wasn't talking about that. I was talking about the week of practice.
I'm talking about whoever asked that question. Like, come on. Like, come on. They gotta move past it. They gotta turn the page.
That's a question. No question.
If you're still thinking about that, you've already lost. But
Correct.
I understand Dolphin fans and the media. We're still waiting for that. That's so Dolphins moment, which
Oh, we had it.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But they think it's going to be a snowball effect as opposed to just an isolated incident.
Which reminds me, interesting point. I mean, this perhaps is going to bring some hope to Dolphin fans, because that's what I'm here for. If you think about major collapses or fluky losses from the other side, where the Dolphins were on the victorious end, I can point to 2 examples, and I'll give you the opponent, and you tell me what those 2 opponents had in common. In 1993, remember the Leon Lett game on Thanksgiving Day, where the Dolphins had a lost, blocked field goal. Leon Lett, for some reason, decides it's a good idea to run down and try to pick up the ball, slips, touches the ball with his foot. Dolphins recover. They kick the field goal. So basically, that was epic collapse game that they should have lost. That was against the Dallas Cowboys, 1993. 2018 miracle in Miami. If from the New England angle, are you like, is this like a deflating, crushing collapse, whatever? Well, guess what? The 93 Cowboys and the 2018 Patriots both won the Super Bowl. So there you go.
Okay, interesting little nugget of information there. 2018 Patriots won a Super Bowl.
They did. That was Brian Flores. That was Brian Flores' last year before he was hired by the Dolphins.
You're correct. I forgot he won a Super Bowl before he came to the Dolphins. But yes, and Leon let the gift that keeps on giving. I still remember where I was when I watched that game. I was at my Uncle Trevor's house for Thanksgiving dinner, and I was eating probably some whack turkey or ham. I'm not a turkey fan, as you know.
I was gonna say, I know you're not. I know you're not about to diss turkey.
Oh, I'm absolutely a hater of turkey.
I trust me. I know you.
Yeah, yeah. And I was like, "Oh my God, are they going to win this game?" So, and they did. So, yeah, I think the Titans collapse. I personally believe that this is going to be something that serves as a catalyst for this team. But the amount of injuries that they have, woo,
Yeah.
it's a doozy. So, you're probably going to be starting a game with a new center out there who's been here for all of one practice. He didn't have time to talk in the locker room because he had to go work with some coaches. Watched Frank Smith working with him in front of him, calling out things and run plays during the portions of practice that we were allowed to watch. Found that very interesting. So this guy is undergoing a crash course. He's going to get ready. He's getting ready to more than likely make his first NFL start for the Miami Dolphins, and first NFL start since 2019. Now, with Teron Armstead on the line, Lester Cotton at left guard, Robert Jones at right guard, Austin Jackson at right tackle, I think you can get by with this makeshift offensive line as long as somebody's helping. Yeah, I don't know who, but as long as somebody's helping out Jonathan Harrison with the line calls. Who? I have no idea. And this is also going to be on Tua Tagovailoa, where I'm sorry, you're going to have to execute when in tough, difficult, adverse situations. And, you're not the first quarterback to lose his top two centers, and you won't be the last. Now you just got to figure it out how to make it work.
And while we're on the topic of injuries on the offensive line, I know there's been a lot of talk about just how cursed they've been. This is like unprecedented and all that. I have a big full analysis piece on alldolphins.com that I highly encourage you to read for free, along with everything else that's up on the site, and quite a bit of content as usual.
Trying to make
there you go. We also should. This is unrelated to the offensive line. Very good. There you go. Whoop, hold on.
There you go.
There we go. Unrelated to the offensive line. Chargers, as you may have heard, fired their head coach Brandon Staley and their GM.
About time.
Never should have been brought back after last year, but that's a different story. And betting odds.
Playoffs. It was a collapse.
Sorry?
He went to the playoffs. They had a second half collapse. It happened.
Blow a 27-0 lead. First of all, and his in-game, I don't know, it's not a Chargers podcast, but no, he shouldn't have been brought back. Anyway, the betting odds are out for very early betting odds for the new coach. And get ready for this, folks, because Frank Smith's going to be on a lot of those lists. And in fact, he was the second favorite behind, who was it? No, I should remember that. It may have been Jim Harbaugh, I believe. And Brian Flores also was on the list of people mentioned.
Jim Harbaugh is a good name, an interesting name, a new name. He likes California, but does he necessarily like LA? I don't know.
Played for the Chargers at one point in his career.
That's a good point. I put my money on Bill Belichick being the Chargers' next head coach.
That's the one you see, right?
Yeah. I think that's the job that he would target and covet and try to go get. Because it's already got a quarterback. All you got to do is fix him.
Fix who?
Fix him.
Fix him.
Just fix him, Justin Herbert.
Fix him. Okay. None of the other issues around that team. Just fix Herbert, and then it'll be okay.
Yeah.
I'm sure that comment's going to play very well here, no matter how absurd it is. But it's like, and
yeah. Justin Herbert's just perfect.
Never said that.
He's just perfect.
Never said that on the list of Charger problems. He's pretty far down the line. Let's put it that way.
Which is why you should want that job, Bill Belichick.
Well, he should want any job because chances are Robert Kraft's going to be like, "Bye, Bill. Okay, your time's done." And especially since he doesn't want that Shula record. Anything else stand out? I should point out Mike McDaniel gave a hat tip to Zach Wilson for winning AFC Offensive Player of the Week. Talked about how that made him proud of the guy's resilience and
he knows what's going on over there and with the Jets and the biggest media market and how
correct.
Everybody basically stuck a fork in Zach Wilson, and here he is resurrecting himself, and it's true. All valid claims.
But that was one game, so the question will be whether that was a trend or an aberration.
There you go.
So, okay.
All right.
Go ahead, Omar. You do the closing.
I was going to say we will be doing an all Dolphins live show on Saturday at noon, recapping the week, answering your questions, setting you up for a 1 p.m. kickoff against your AFC East rivals, the New York Jets. I will also be on QAM doing the pregame show on Sunday from 9 to 1 o'clock. And then, as you know, we will be doing the live recap. I am planning on going to that game. So what time is it? We normally do that? 5 o'clock. What time? 5 o'clock-ish?
Usually we do 5:15 if you go to the locker room.
Yeah, 5:15. I'm definitely going to the locker room. So looking forward to seeing you guys tomorrow for the live show. Thank you for continuing to watch, support. You can find all our written work at alldolphins.com for free, no subscription. Poupard's got 16 stories up today. I chime in when I can. And always, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening to us on the audio platform. We'd love it if you rate us and gave us 5 stars. And thank you for subscribing. Tell a friend, like the post. We will see you tomorrow. Give him the hat tip.
There you go.
All right.